everybody. Welcome to another episode of HyperOtaku, HyperRPG's only anime talk show. And everyone, hello. My name is Mal Sapedo. I'm drawing on the heart of the cards right now. One time I got a choir solo, and my cousins made fun of me for it because I overacted, like I'm doing right now.
And I'm Emma Fife, and one time I had a choir solo, and by that I mean all the time, because I was the star of my middle school choir.
Whoa! Okay,
Nice.
back it up, Jesus. All right.
I'm Yume Warlock, and I am extremely jealous of everybody going to New York Comic Con this week.
Oh, me too.
Yep.
And I'm Max Song, and did you know that squids have 3 hearts?
That
I
has
actually
nothing
did know
to do with
that.
you, Max.
I did
Nothing
know
to do
that.
with you.
That's never good.
No.
No, but I give useful information, and that's what counts. And I also saw it from Mabashiba, so.
That's going to be our mysterious guy.
Yeah.
Mysterious man.
Or maybe the most uninteresting.
Possibly.
Ooh.
It's going to go one way or the other. It's going to be
Yeah.
one of those things wherein either you are that super mysterious character who eventually gets something revealed about him and is the most interesting character on the show, or literally you're just mysterious the whole
Yeah.
time and
Yeah.
nobody ever cares about you.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of fade off in like season 3, and you're like, where did that guy go?
You should have like some kind of screen to just kind of meld
Yeah.
into the background.
Background, and so it's like, hey, someone pay attention to me. Hello, hello, and no one does. Those are my favorite characters.
Yep.
Yeah, and Michelle isn't here today, but she is at New York City Comic Con this weekend.
Yeah.
So if you're, do we know which booth she's working at?
She is
She's
working for
Kuma.
Real Kuma. I don't know the booth number, but if you find the sleepy bear, that's her.
Yep.
In case you don't know who
You see a
Real
lazy
Akuma
bear
is.
or a little, or Real Akuma, the little white one, and they're laying on their side.
Yeah.
Then Michelle is not far away.
Yeah, make sure to say hi to them. Guys, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, but first let's go ahead and start with some Weeb Weekly. Some of the things,
I
guys,
recognize that font.
we actually have like a good amount of news this week too.
Yes.
There's been a lot of stuff coming out in the otaku world. First announcement, which I think we're all pretty
kind
the same
of
about this.
Yeah.
Is that we're getting a live action Your Name adaptation, a Western remake of it. Do we need that now? It's just so soon. And
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
and it's being directed by J.J. Abrams,
Yep.
reportedly, which is interesting.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
an interesting choice.
I was talking about this with, I cannot remember who. It's somebody that's around the studio a fair amount. And we were talking about Your Name and how good it was and how he felt like maybe there was a little bit of a need for it because he felt that the film was so good that he wanted people to get exposed to it that maybe wouldn't even give it a chance because it is animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is going to get the same sort of reaction that most like Western adaptations of anime get from anime fans, which is why just watch the fucking anime.
Just watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of things that are very inherently Japanese about Your Name.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yes.
is going to be weird to translate because, like, the whole idea is like that red string of fate, and that's like
Yeah.
such a big part of it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know, there's kind of this whole like Shinto culture, Shinto religion that's behind it, and so it's like I can see this being adapted into where the story is kind of like Freaky Friday.
Inspired.
Or-
Yeah, 100%.
And what
Yeah,
Lucas just showed to you guys is into the comic strip that someone made of what the movie could look like.
So this is basically a Japanese manga artist
It's so
came up with. This
good.
is one of many panels. Actually, this is just the panel I chose. Some
It's
of
a
them
whole
were
big meme
some
in
of them
Japan.
were very, very stereotypically like racist. So it's basically what Japanese people were making fun of. Like when they remake it, it's gonna be a black girl from the New Orleans and a white guy from New York City. And it's basically like her being like so good at basketball that she should be scouted into the NBA. The entire strip was very, very funny. And it was, for a person who was Japanese, they were very dead on about how inaccurate it was going to be.
Yeah. That nerd in chat says it's time to cast the whitewash Your Name. My picks are Kristen Stewart and Eddie Redmayne.
Well,
Eddie Redmayne, maybe, but
Eddie
Kristen
Redmayne.
Stewart, I don't really want anyone. We could have a cardboard cutout that could replace Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
It would basically be the same thing. No offense to her, but kind of all
for
offense
me,
to her.
I do have to say that in terms of adaptation, I am okay with adaptations because things have been adapted
Sure.
all the
Yeah.
time. But
Yeah.
here's the thing with this: if you're going to do that, you need to completely change it.
Yeah.
Completely.
Like,
I mean,
completely
it
change the
needs
characters.
to be the same kind of situation that you had with like The Departed, which is an adaptation of a Chinese film.
Yeah.
Or you know, the Live Die Repeat.
Yes.
Yeah.
All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah.
Which again is just inspired by Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of
Edge of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
That was the real
They
name.
changed-
but
they changed the
they
name, so
buried
it's
it.
fine.
They buried that
I
name.
forgot that because they're like, oh wait, this is a good movie with a terrible title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you have something that is inspired by an existing source material, but isn't a direct adaptation
Yeah.
of that material. It's a new interpretation of it. You're taking the basic concept and themes, but telling a new story.
Sure.
Yes.
But I mean, at the same time, if you think about it, is that the same movie?
I know.
won't be.
Yeah, it won't be.
Because I
It
feel
won't
like with Your Name, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not,
Absolutely.
especially because like it's not just the fact that it's like Shinto based. It's that like her father is like the mayor of a small rural Japanese town. There are a lot of like very Japanese social interactions that happen within that film.
And also, there has to be a place in which a city has been leveled by a meteor.
Yeah.
Which,
Yes.
like, are they going to put that in America?
Roswell.
Or, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Roswell.
Like,
I think
because,
I would be maybe fine with it if it was set in like Hawaii. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe, because it could be like a volcano.
Yeah, exactly,
And then it would just
exactly.
be Moana all
Right,
over
yeah.
again.
Well, and the other thing is too is even watching the English dub of Your Name, because I've seen it both in Japanese with subtitles and the dub is really quite good. However, some of the jokes are lost in the dub
Yes.
because we don't have different pronouns. We don't have different
Yeah.
ways of saying I. There's this really, really funny scene in the movie where Mitsuha is in Taki's body for the first
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and she's like talking with his bros, and she uses Atashi.
Yeah.
There is no equivalent joke for that in
Yeah.
English.
I think it only works in like languages where there are like male female pronouns.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause that's true.
yeah.
Because she's like oh me, but the girl version. Then she's like me formal, then
But-
me boy.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
bless their heart, they
Yeah.
try. They
They
try their
tried.
best,
They did.
you know, in
Yeah.
the dub. But, you know, that's the whole
Yeah.
thing is I am going to put my faith in J.J. Abrams to kind of know what that balance is just because, like, he's a pretty good director and he's a pretty good writer. So just to know, like, he might be able to just kind of, like, produce it well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping.
I
at the
think
end
it's
of the
also
day.
like J.J. Abrams, just based on all the previous films that he's done, he's very good at kind of casting a wide range, so it won't just be completely whitewashed.
That is true.
I
That
do
is
feel
true.
like
I agree with that.
I feel like if he did do it for Americans, he would make sure that it's kind of multiracial, like how America is.
I like JJ. I have no problem with him.
I'm a fan of JJ's work. I don't think that we necessarily need this, but you
It
know
just
what?
came out.
There it is.
it just
that's
came out.
literally,
Maybe.
This is
We'll
literally
see.
milking
There it
money.
is.
So what do you guys think about it? Let us know in the comments. But in other news, guys, something that's also kind of movie related and kind of cringy to me is that Paramount has picked up the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and they're making a live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yeah.
How are you gonna make
everyone
that live
celebrate.
action?
Look,
This is going to be live action in the same way that like Jungle Book is live action, meaning
Or like Garfield.
the CGI
I mean, yeah.
animals.
yeah.
What was the one where they introduced Shadow and the white one, and it's a mixture. It's like Sonic is in a world full of people that are like actually people.
Human
Oh,
people.
it's Sonic,
Sonic.
just Sonic the Hedgehog
Sonic
from
Yeah.
2006.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Yeah, 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's a terrible game.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
it
expecting
is
to
bad.
be.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Where they're just, or maybe he goes so fast that he ends up in our dimension, and then we're like, hey, what's this blue hedgehog? Wait,
Yeah.
I've seen
Right.
games about
See, but
you.
like that is already problematic because it's like Dragon Ball Z. It's
Yeah.
just like, how about we put him in high school? It's just like that you completely remove him
I think
from
that's
the world.
exactly what I'm imagining
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
Sonic will in fact not be a hedgehog.
Yeah.
He'll be
I actually
a boy
want
with
that.
spiky blue hair.
I want that to be like a thing, like just a man, and he's just like, he was a marathon runner, but he was disgraced because he didn't go fast enough. And so
They
it's like
just call him a
montaging-
hedgehog?
Yeah.
That would be
Call him
really
the hedgehog.
cool.
It's like, hey, Sonic, you're the hedgehog, right? It's like, not anymore.
I know, like we've pitched a better story.
Yeah, I think
That's
I'm
mint right
now
there.
weirdly on board with this.
Yeah.
with this
I am
movie.
too. So some things about it is that we don't know who's writing it yet. We do know that it is going to be the directorial debut for Jeff Fowler, who was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Animated Short for Gopher Day, and will be produced by Neil Moritz and from Fast and Furious and Tim Miller from Deadpool.
Oh my God! Fast and Furious Sonic the Hedgehog.
This sounds amazing
Yeah, now
already.
you know what? If it literally
boy.
is just Fast and the Furious, but
with
replaced
Sonic,
with Hedgehog
I'm
characters,
down with that.
then I'm
How
all
Vin
in.
Diesel's
I'm all
in it.
Yeah, I'm in it.
A freedom
Tyrese,
fighter's got to stick
Ludacris.
together. It's all about family, speed, and chili dogs.
God.
I don't know. I'm
I
really
like
look. Here's my whole thing: is stop trying to for there are certain films that are just meant to stay animated. Like
Sure.
if they came out and like DreamWorks picked up and Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I would be like,
I'd be
dope.
down.
Absolutely.
Like if we got look at this image. This is Tyler has Tyler has his I think that's his last name. It's his art for Sonic Mania, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
like if we get a cinematic in this art style, I would be 100% in.
Amazing.
Sonic Mania also, by the way, is like weirdly progressive. Like if you've
Mm-hmm.
never seen any clips of Sonic Mania, you really should check it out because I think it's pretty easy to dismiss because your reaction is, oh, this is just some weird Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. But there's some pretty deep stuff
No,
in there.
There
it's
is.
really good. I mean, this is all fan made. It's basically
It is
just the
fan-made.
culmination
Yeah.
of the passion of a fandom, which is good or bad depending on what it
Sure.
is.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the Sonic fandom like really loves Sonic and
Yeah.
really knows Sonic. Like,
Also,
really
Google
gets it.
your name followed by the Hedgehog, and you will find fan art.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And it'll
Your
probably
name,
be
like,
weird.
as in your own name.
Your own
not-
name, not your name is in.
No, yeah.
no, not your name is in the wonderful film by Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah.
Your name,
Like,
but
if your name
but
is Michael the Hedgehog.
Yes.
But to be fair, there might be a hedgehog version of your name, so
Yeah.
who knows?
I mean, there probably is.
Look,
Have you Googled your hedgehog?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've Googled
Oh,
my
totally.
hedgehog.
100%.
Yeah.
Mine is very edgy. He also wears glasses.
I gotta Google
Because
mine.
obviously-
Mine looks like she might be a prostitute.
Yeah, mine is like really hoey.
To be fair, they all do. They all kind of do. 80% of the time, they're pretty slutty.
Yeah, well, what do you guys think? I'm just worried. I just hope that's not going to be Garfield animation.
Yeah,
I just hope
totally.
it's a little bit of
Yeah.
credibility. So, what do you guys think? Let us know. I don't know, dude. I love Sonic, so it's just like, please just don't
Don't ruin
bastardize
Matt's
him.
childhood,
Up.
Paramount.
Yeah. Oh God. But something on
This
another
is
news.
some great news.
This is great news.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how to like it. So in Japan right now, there's some new Nicolas Cage promotional sticks happening, and like as him as
Yeah, they're snacks.
Umaibos.
Umaibo.
Yeah, Umaibo snacks.
Yeah.
They're called Nicholas sticks. Okay.
Yes,
They're
So
amazing.
bizarre.
So this is to promote a movie called it's called God, what was it?
Something
Bin
Bin
Laden.
Laden.
Am I
It's called
right?
Army of One.
Army of One.
Oh.
It has
Yeah.
Russell Brand as God, and basically Nick Cage is a guy named Gary, and he gets a vision from God to find Bin Laden.
My God.
And this is the best part. They're promoting this movie in Japan, and of course, Japan has a different title, and the title is called Bin Laden is My Prey. Which is such a
That's a pretty good title.
It's a great title, which is also very distinctly Japanese.
It is.
feeling.
Very, very
Yeah.
Japanese.
And all of his promotional things, Nicolas Cage has this big white beard and like long hair, and he's holding a katana, and that's a part of the movie. They use it in every single
so
promotion of this
weird.
movie. They saw a katana, and they were like, they jumped right on it. Japan was like, we got to show this every time.
Yes.
And so these Omaibo are now like the big old thing, and they're just normal corn podge flavors, which is kind of the best flavor. But just to be able to see like Nicolas Cage's face on a food product is kind of one of the greatest things that God keeps giving us.
I'm getting them from Amazon right
Yeah, if you guys ever wanted to send snacks to the studio,
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage Umaibos.
send us
please.
some
Please.
Nicholas sticks.
Yes.
We will eat them.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, guys! And finally, we got some Nintendo confirmation. This is a big one. I've speculated
This
this
is
to be true
dark.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nintendo has finally confirmed the artist who designed, the art designer for Super Mario World has confirmed that when Yoshi sticks his tongue out, Mario is punching to the head.
God, that's so
That's
messy.
It is
so
confirmed.
messed up.
Ooh, that's dark.
There should be like how there's like concussion documentaries like for football. They should have one for Yoshi.
For Yoshi. Well, I mean, suddenly we're faced with the fact that Mario riding this dinosaur, who we
Yeah.
thought for years and years was just his beloved partner, it was
Yeah.
actually like slave labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
to
like,
be fair,
it's like animal abuse.
on a constant basis, like a good portion of the game, you do have to throw him into a pit.
Yeah.
An
You do. You
endless
have to
pit
abandon it all
in
the
which
time.
you just cultivate more eggs. You know what I mean? So there was always that dark side about it. And it's just kind of weird because, like, first, we find out that, like, Mario isn't a plumber. And now we find this dark secret. It's kind of like a celebrity that is, like, like all this bad stuff is coming out, all the skeletons.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like right
I feel
now.
it's like a scandal.
I feel like the next Super Mario game after Super Mario Odyssey is going to have to, like, address all of these cold, hard facts we've suddenly found out about Mario.
Also, how are Yoshi's born with shoes?
Oh.
Who knows? We don't know. But
Yoshi's
even,
Island.
and to quote the artist, he said a lot of people on the team thought that the Mario is pointing ahead and saying go, but actually he drew the artwork with the intention that Mario is hitting Yoshi on the head and he's sticking his tongue out from surprise.
Look at him. He's
terrible.
so sad, dude. That's animal abuse.
This
I know.
article made me so sad.
Oh, no, boy.
Yoshi's my favorite.
The dark secrets. I'm glad. You know what? He's ungrateful as well because all of Yoshi's Island is you just saving little baby Mario from basically every single horrible thing that's trying to eat him.
Yep.
Exactly.
And this is the payment he gets. Like, you know what? Yoshi, you don't need Mario.
Unless
you
it's
don't
the
need that
theory
guy.
that Mario is the Mario from Donkey Kong, the original arcade game, who like kept Donkey Kong in like animal slavery.
Oh yeah.
There's so much dark.
Maybe there's
Oh,
now
deeper.
it's
Oh,
wait
man,
a second.
maybe
Is
just
there
an
like
animal
is there
abuser.
like a Mario and a Mega Mario?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Or maybe it's the same guy. Who knows?
Maybe like Nega Mario is the nice one who doesn't abuse animals
Yeah.
and cage them up.
Maybe Luigi. That's why Luigi is so like sad and put on the side because
Right,
he
it's
know
because-
all of his dirty
because-
secrets.
And Mario is secretly oppressing him
Yeah.
all of these
Yeah.
years and blackmailing him to keep his secrets.
Oh man, we should definitely make that. Should be
Yeah.
a remake.
This
Yeah,
should
that's that's
Yeah.
the Mario film everyone wants
Yeah.
to see.
Get Scorsese on this right now.
It's like real and gritty.
Yeah.
oh man, get John Leguizamo back. It's like, whoa,
Oh, man.
Yoshi, what's happening?
Oh.
Well, that's all the time we have for Weekly this week, guys. And now we've been watching a bunch of stuff, so it's time to see what our hot takes are.
Yay. Hey.
Hot takes.
That was very good. I
know.
like these animations.
Yeah, we just
are
added
lit.
these bumpers,
I
guys.
have
So
to
we're
say.
all just like staring at them while they're happening. We're like,
Yeah.
Oh,
really
that's
good.
really cool. Good job, Lucas.
Production value just
know.
went up, way up.
It did.
So Emma, what were some of your hot takes for this week?
Oh
again?
man, guys. So I decided to watch Black Clover today because I got a lot of flack for seeming like I was negative about it before I had seen it. Not on this show, but on during myEmmamation segment on Collider TV Talk. I was like, meh, it sounds like Naruto again. That kind of is.
It is.
It really is. Also, I'm confused.
dare
Am I
you.
supposed to like Astra or Asta? I don't know. There's like two guys. There's Yuno and the
And then
other guy that yells
Ast-
all the time.
yeah.
Astra?
Asta is the main character.
Asta. Yeah, am I supposed to like him? Because I don't. I way prefer Yuno. It was fine.
Well, I mean, you're the one that likes Bakugo. Of course, you're gonna like him. Yeah. I mean, do you like Sasuke?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So that's your
fine.
that's
for me.
your that's your
your
fetish.
problem.
It's
That's my
cool. It's
problem.
whatever.
I like problematic pseudo.
You like
Yeah.
terrible
Things.
people. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
that-
But to be
what
fair,
it is.
Yuno is like pretty chill.
Yuno is pretty chill.
Yuno's super
Yuno's pretty
chill.
chill, and he's mostly just good at being a magician,
Yeah.
and he's nice to all the kids in the town. The only person he's kind of mean to is Asta, who kind of deserves it because he literally just yells all the time. Like, he does
Yes.
not have a normal speaking volume. Like,
Because his whole thing is like he's super gung ho, and then you find out that he's just also really muscular. Like his thing is like physical strength.
yeah.
And that's why all of his like weapons and things like all manifest as swords and weapons and stuff.
But
So
there's all these other guys at their sort of magical choosing ceremony where they get their grimoire and that are actual assholes. And I was like, nah, guys, I'm just actually like really good at magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was fine. I might watch more of it.
okay.
Cool. Let us know what you think if you like it.
kind of a
Alright.
twist.
That was very lukewarm.
For me, I'm actually I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but right now in One Piece, if you're reading the manga, some spoilers ahead. If you're not caught up, but
Wait, is it already on Dogtooth?
yes. Right
man.
now, things are heating up in the manga.
It's
getting serious.
With Big Mom, with the whole crew, there's this whole assassination plot, and now it's Big Mom's like chasing him, and Sanji's like, we gotta bake this big old cake, and fucking, and then Luffy's like I got this, and he stayed back in the mirror world to fight Dogtooth, who's got the mochi fucking fruit. So it's mochi versus rubber right now, and I'm just like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? Because it looks like it's going bad.
And also Dogtooth can like see into the future for like a couple seconds too, so he also has that advantage. But Luffy is a badass and basically like goes through a mirror and then he breaks the mirror because he's like whatever. Because One Piece is insane.
Oh, I'm so
it's
excited.
an insane show.
I'm so excited, guys. So I don't know. I just had to talk about it really quick because I haven't talked about it. If anyone else is obsessed with One Piece, let me know and we'll talk about it. So.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Matt is obsessed with One
needs to
Piece.
talk about
I'm
One
also
Piece.
caught up with One Piece as well. I'm not quite as obsessed with it, but it is good, and it's been consistently good. And I also reread it, which is like 400 chapters or something.
wrong with
It's
you?
890
Oh,
something
okay.
now.
So I guess I read 800 chapters or something, but yeah, it's still very good.
God.
Still very good.
All right, and we're good.
Okay.
My
You
hot
may.
take. Actually, I have been trying to keep up with Ballroom Yakuza or Welcome to Ballroom,
Welcome to Ballroom,
which
yeah.
is only available on Anime Strike, by the way, guys. For a while, I was struggling because it wasn't really grabbing me. I also really hated the opening song. I really hated the opening song, so it changed because they're continuing, and they introduced the main character's partner, who is like this really like tsundere character, who I love.
Oh, nice.
But on top of that, they introduced like his teacher Sengoku's like partner, who's like a very like masculine woman. That's what they call her. But she's like a badass.
Yeah.
And so his new partner, the tsundere girl, is like a huge fan of Sengoku's partner, and she's like, "Well, can I get a hug?" Which is a very Japanese way to treat fandom. And like there was this part in the anime where like the girl like they're both called Chi-chan, by the way. It's confusing.
that is
She
confusing.
kind of turns around and she's like, "Come at me," and it's like so cute because it's a very like, "Oh, you're my fan. We're both girls, but you respect me because we're both very strong, independent women." It kind of has turned the tide for me. I was really struggling with this series, but now I'm like interested because there are interesting women.
Her whole story is actually super interesting, and they kind of bring in this new concept in the dance of basically being a frame and leading, and they kind of touched upon it before, but then like you see her whole thing is because she's such a strong and independent woman, she used to be the lead, and now she kind of has to be she was the frame, and now she kind of has to be in like a sub role, and apparently in the dancing world the partner can't be the lead, otherwise it gets confusing or it just hurts the dance coordination or something like that. But then it like that whole part gets very psychological, it gets really deep, and then there's all this really good character building on top of that.
I still
So
need to watch
it's
that
really
show.
it's
I really want
fantastic.
Now that you brought up the fact that there are very interesting women in it, I'm more compelled to seek it out and keep up with it, because initially, again, I was kind of put off by the fact that it's only on Anime Strike. It's like, I already pay for Amazon Prime. That should just come with my Prime subscription.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's the really annoying part about it, and I think so many of the anime series that are stuck on strike are basically losing out.
I
because
totally
they're
agree.
terrible.
I
But
totally agree.
They've gotten really good ones, and it's just not made it because it's on strike.
Yep.
It's also they don't advertise it at all,
it's
so
terrible.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Max.
So my hot take was I watched two things. I actually watched the first episode of Soma.
Oh, I haven't
you
seen it.
did?
Oh no!
Yeah, it came out today, so I had
Oh,
a
the
chance
new
to
one.
watch
That's-
it.
Yeah.
So the third season's out. They're kind of like, they kind of led with the, or they ended the second season while meeting the top 10, the student council
Yes.
top 10 chefs or whatever.
I love an
10.
overpowered
Those are
student
10.
council.
And they didn't really. It's kind of it's kind of like a sequitur episode. Like obviously, someone does his thing where he like challenges people that obviously you shouldn't challenge, but then they're kind of opening it up to the Moon Festival, so that's going to be pretty interesting. And then I watched Zodiac War, which was really interesting.
Okay.
It's super bloody. It's just like right off the bat, super bloody. But the
Weird.
animation is amazing. So if
All
you
right.
Yeah, I'm real into that.
yeah,
like-
and the characters are
Yeah.
they're silly. Okay, one of the guys is like basically a bunny stripper with like a big ass tail. Some of them are kind of more interesting and not psychotic as that, but then the reason he's dressed like that is because he's also psychotic. Anyway, the point is they have this weird lore. It's really good, and if you like fighting animation, watch it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
we've also been watching a bunch of great shonens weekly as well, so it's now time for Next Time On. Really quick, guys, we're going to talk about Boruto, the newest episode, Mitsukage's successor. What you guys' thoughts really quick about the episode? It's been
Yeah, based on the fact that last week was filler, I decided
It's like-
to forego
it's just-
Boruto this week.
It's more, I guess it's like they're trying to. I know what they're doing. Like
Sure.
they're trying to show it as like this used to be a bad village, and now it is a much better modern one, and we want to keep the peace. And now you're the younger generation, so you're going to carry that peace on, and that's great. Whatever. But I also watch Naruto, and that's what they basically like show me verbatim.
Yeah.
And then this the main character dude that they introduced, the swordman or whatever,
Kagura.
Kagura or whatever. And he's like,
It's-
okay, he has a trauma.
Yeah. And it feels like it's very Naruto where it's like, oh, like we talked about this last week too, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this cool stuff happened. We're probably going to get a bunch of just dry, kind of slow paced episodes for a
Yeah.
little bit. So
So that's what
Yeah.
happened.
that's
and
exactly
feel-
what happened.
I feel like I'm so committed to like Naruto that I have to watch it. But yeah, like the past 2 episodes, I'm like, oh god, it's filler.
I know
Yeah.
because I
It's
was
filler.
I was so enjoying it up to this
Yeah.
point, and then the last episode happened. It was so fillery, and I was just so strapped on time. My week last week was so crazy. I was like, I feel like I can probably skip Boruto.
I feel like it would have been better if they hadn't done this filler and just spent more time character building all the other kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
I don't even remember like the class rep's name.
Yeah.
I don't remember either.
Class
You
rep.
know.
Class rep.
Yeah.
What's her name, too?
They are. That girl.
Sumire.
Sumire.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. We got there. We got there.
So I think the thing that is going to be a problem is, or not a problem, or just more of an observation, is that we see it as filler, but they're not filler. Those are episodes. Those are literally building up the world of Boruto, which is one of the reasons why it does seem like filler because we're so used to Naruto.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
there's
That's
no
true.
material
That's true.
besides the movie
Yeah,
after
there's
that,
nothing.
and then of course the manga. But I don't really know how successful that manga is right now. I mean, which is kind of interesting, but that also has the problem of where it basically is this filler kind of like episodes in manga form. So there's a give and take for sure.
In terms of like what you're talking about with filler and how it's like expansion of the world, something I think One Piece does a great job of that. I feel like a lot of the One Piece like filler does a great job of expanding the world of the Grand Line and the East Blue, wherever they were in the timeline.
Yeah.
And because it felt still different. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like. It didn't feel bland. It was like, oh, we got mac and cheese, but now let's add some hot sauce. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you mean. It added to it, and it
Yeah.
wasn't just
Yeah.
putting stuff on top of it for the sake of having more stuff.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily gotten to that point yet, because it is kind of interesting
No.
to see what other cities
Yeah.
deal with kind of modern peace. And obviously, because you've watched Naruto and like the first place they go to is the first
Yeah.
ninjas they encounter are from the mist, like swords
yeah.
from
Yes.
the mist.
Yes.
So it's kind of like interesting to see that juxtaposition, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is we've got all kinds of new fall anime series starting throughout the course
So
of this
much.
week, and particularly this Saturday, October 7th, is a big day for
big
new
day,
anime.
yeah.
So we'll find other
many.
series to talk about
Yeah.
in our
That's true.
next time on.
That's true.
It's true.
But we also have we're going to talk about the last episode of My Hero Academia really quick. Sorry.
Give me that hat.
It's
With
the-
that
it was the
hat
final
on.
episode of season 2 Encounter. So many feels for
Dude,
me.
Okay, so I went into this thinking this was going to be super inconsequential because I'd seen the preview.
Yeah.
So I had hope that it wasn't going to be, because it's very, very common with anime seasons that actually the second to last episode is really the end of the season. And the
Yes.
episode after that is
It's like
kind of a
homage.
recap
Like, yeah.
episode.
When
And
it
it
goes
just,
to, like the hot
Everyone's so
springs.
good.
yeah, everyone's
Blah,
just
blah.
hanging
Yeah.
out, shopping, going to the mall, which they were.
Yeah.
However, holy shit, you
Yeah.
guys.
Ooh, Shigaraki shows up. and he
Shigaraki
just-
is so terrifying.
He is
Yeah.
a scary dude.
He is.
He's a
And when
very
he
scary
just
dude.
like sidles up to Midoriya when Midoriya gets left alone by everybody because they all go their separate ways to go shopping,
Yes.
and like just sort of casually, weirdly sensually like wraps his fingers around his neck. I was so uncomfortable in the best way possible.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Just
That's
the
what I was saying.
conversation. I just love the conversation that they have too with Midoriya and him talking about like why people like follow Stain and why like he's probably not working. I just think that interaction's so great with them.
It's really the idea of like what the philosophy of what is his motive. And obviously, he's mad because like Stain has kind of ruined the idea of the Villains Association or the League of Villains, because like the whole idea was supposed to be like all for one for all,
right?
All for one
All
is
for
basically created that organization, and now it kind of seems like Stain is taking it over, and that's the reason that all these new recruits are coming in. Which honestly,
right?
The what's her name? The blood girl that I always forget her name.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, the blonde girl in this
blonde girl.
episode.
She's like literally one of my favorite.
I know, me
characters
too.
in the
And
series.
I
You
just
don't know her
remember
name.
Yeah.
I'm very
It's gonna drive me
terrible with
wild.
names,
It's
just
gonna drive me
in
wild.
general.
Yeah.
But basically, like, like you see the philosophy behind it, and then like, in a weird way, it's his episode because it wraps a bunch of stuff that he's had doubts about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and Midoriya is really just a filter for that.
Totally. Yeah,
so
I
it's
mean, it
kind
was
of
definitely
interesting.
Shigaraki's episode.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that is really strong about My Hero Academia as a series is the fact that the villains are really interesting and you do understand their motivations to a certain degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was really cool to see that in this episode. And I think it just sets you up for such a strong beginning to the next season,
man.
which
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm so excited.
I mean,
about
it
it.
And
makes-
then the reveal at the end, I won't say what the reveal was, but
Yeah.
you see the reveal of who is behind it all, and you're just like, oh
Wow.
shit! Like next season.
Wait, didn't they show All for One before?
They just they didn't reveal who it was. I think they just showed a shadow or something.
Oh, they didn't show his.
he was like
his
Doctor.
face.
He was like
It was like Dr. Claw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So
that's a spoiler button.
yes,
we
and
should talk about
something.
what he looks
I did
like.
want to mention something because how orchestrated it all seemed, like for him to be there at that exact moment and
I
stuff.
know.
And nothing's been revealed or anything, so this isn't spoiler territory. But I do think that that there's a spy in the class, and I think
agree.
I think it's the Invisible Girl. Because if you look at the
What?
quirks,
No.
I think it's I forget her name. We don't know.
Don't make her into that.
I do because if you look at quirks not only affect we don't even know if invisibility is her power because quirks are known to affect
That
your
is
physical
true.
appearance.
Yeah.
So she might be withholding a power, maybe like telekinesis or something.
Yeah.
And she like disappears for a lot of stuff, like in a lot of the big fights. Where is she? And she was the one who suggested, let's go to the mall. We should all go to the mall. And it's like,
Matt!
Oh man, you are deep diving into this.
I
This is
think
like a
she's like a
YouTube conspiracy video.
Pretty good. I haven't watched it,
It's a-
but that's
it's a pretty good
theory.
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. I think
Man,
that
I just saw this really cute comic online too about like her going on a date with the electric dude.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. It was really great, and now you've ruined it for me because now I'm gonna think, what if she's a
it's
spy?
just a theory, but I think that it's too
Damn.
orchestrated. I just do. I just do.
Wow.
So that's my thoughts. What do you guys think about it? It was a great
now
season
I'm
finale.
thinking.
Next season's gonna get wild. It's gonna get dark. And I'm really excited for it. We won't get that for
so
for a
excited.
while though. So, but speaking of dark, guys, we got to see the live action Tokyo Ghoul movie, which will be our main topic this week.
Look at that transition.
Wah, wah, wah. Good segue. Good segue. I wish we had like a button that said that.
Yeah.
Good segue.
So guys, yeah, we all got to. Emma couldn't go because she was on Vanquish last week, but we
I was
got.
trying to kill the cast of Vanquish last week while this was going on.
What a jerk.
But we got to go see Tokyo Ghoul live action. It's coming out very soon to theaters here,
Yes.
which is really cool.
Yes.
And I just overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it surprised me. I didn't. Usually these live action movies don't go very well, I feel like. And I thought it was just really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had super, super low expectations going into this, just because live actions tend to be really bad.
Yes.
But I mean, I got in maybe 5 minutes after the movie started, and I liked a lot of the direction and the set direction that they had.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely stepped up from what it used to be in Japan.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. The fact that the CG didn't look like total garbage.
I
You gotta
know.
admit.
Yeah.
I
You have to
mean,
admit.
I mean, the CG obviously didn't look as good as something you would see in an American
Yeah, like a
produced
Hollywood.
film or even a Game of Thrones.
I mean,
but you
but-
know what? It looked pretty
It was pretty
decent.
good. Yeah,
We were talking
definitely.
after the film and how it was like a lot of the slow parts, like because after the parts that they show in the movie, which we won't talk about it because we want you guys to go see it because it's actually really fun. But after this part in the manga, it goes like crazy. So
It
and
gets
I was talking to
way
you guys
more
about it. Is
insane.
that I think this did work because they were slow paced and they worked on just focusing on the characters and they worked on they used the slowness to their advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really particularly familiar with Tokyo Ghoul. I certainly know what it is and have seen bits and pieces of it, but I'm not really necessarily into it. But I really did enjoy this film.
Yeah.
So Max, I know that you are into Tokyo Ghoul, and Matt, you clearly are as well. And
I've
so
watched
and
it.
so like just for anybody that's never seen Tokyo Ghoul, can one of you just give like a very basic synopsis of what this is about?
We can do that.
Yeah.
So basically, there's like two. Ghouls are basically a subset of humans, not quite human, but basically are. And their whole thing is they're the alpha predator in this world, and they can only consume humans. So like any other food that they've ever eaten, or like meats, cheese, whatever have you, they can't actually consume it because it tastes literally like garbage to them. And so the only real sustenance they have is human flesh. And they have these. I think someone was on Twitter today was asking about, there's a picture of us
the
at the
picture of you
event,
with the
and
tentacles.
there's like these tentacles coming out. Obviously, it's in the wrong position, but they're called kagune, and they are basically these organs that all ghouls have to make them better hunters. And there's different varieties of them. There's like wings, and then it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe 5, or I think there's 4 different types, and basically that makes them kind of unique in their own way. And Kaneki is just a human and ends up meeting this girl, Rise, in this coffee shop. And he has just like this massive crush on her. And everything kind of like starts off as this, Japanese rom-com or whatever. But then you find out she's a ghoul. And then she is crushed by incidents, killed by incidents. And Ken ends up taking her organs and then becoming a half ghoul, half human hybrid. And that's where the story starts. So, basically, there's a lot of other. I mean, I guess I could go through the whole thing, but like I would say you should watch it.
I agree. I think that this was a story that worked extremely well.
Yes.
Live action.
It did.
It did.
Because some of the stuff of like, him not being able to eat food once he's become a ghoul.
Yes.
I think that's way more jarring to see
too.
live
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
Like when he comes back to school and his friend Hide's like, yo, I've been waiting to go to this sweet burger place with you. Let's go
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
And there's just like this flaming delicious looking burger patty and he's like cutting it. Oh, it's painful.
It's like,
It
and
is.
something that the film does really well is
the
is-
cinematography is
Yeah.
great.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did an incredible job of making you feel disgusted at
Yeah.
regular food. Like
Yeah.
like just the way it was shot and I don't know. It was just every single little detail about that
Yeah.
grossed all of us out, and it was just regular food
Yeah.
that they were looking at, and like that's the point. And
Yeah.
they were that I just thought that they used that to their advantage really well.
I think
Another-
like there's like a scene where he's like trying to eat all the food in his like
In his
in his
refrigerator.
And he
Oh.
just are still like
Yeah.
stuffing
Oh
in
my
his
God.
mouth. Ugh.
the only way that I explained it to my husband, like the only way I could really like compare it to is like in Lord of the Rings when Denethor is eating that like tomato really
Yes!
grossly.
Yeah.
It was exactly like that. I felt so disgusted in the theater. Like anytime any of them had to like eat human food. But I think the director really understood what was happening, and
And-
like
yeah.
He really did.
And this was
And
his new.
It was.
first
This was his
film.
Yeah.
feature film debut. So it's directed by
Hagiwara Kentaro.
Exactly. And all he's directed up to this point are like some shorts and a mini series. He's never
Wow.
directed
Wow,
a feature
he's-
film.
Yeah.
he
before
really
at all.
understood
And
this.
he
Yes.
clearly had a very good understanding of the source material. Another thing that's really interesting about this production is that the music is actually written by Don Davis, who's the guy who composed the music for The Matrix.
Oh wow!
Yes.
That's
Oh,
really random.
I literally
Yeah.
I rewatched The Matrix 2 nights ago.
Yes.
It still holds up.
Yep.
guys.
Yes, it
Yeah.
holds up.
It was
The
an
music
American
was
composer.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it was kind of inconsequential.
Yeah,
There's
it
nothing
didn't,
that
it
really
didn't blow me
grabbed
away, but I just thought
it
that was an
wasn't
interesting
bad.
fact. Also, the guy who plays Kaneki, Masataka Kubota, was in the 2015 Death Note J-drama. He was Light. I was like looking at him and I'm like,
okay.
where do I know that guy from?
Yeah, no.
That's the Light
Yeah.
who never got a villain haircut.
You know, I will
Yeah.
say that he like the character cries a lot.
He does.
But This actor
Kaneki
does.
cries a lot.
Yeah,
Kaneki
Kaneki
does.
cries a lot.
He was better as Kaneki than he was as Light.
And
Okay.
in
Way
those
better.
moments, for example, I thought it was really not only was like the food shot disgustingly, but the way he was responding to it, like I thought he did a great job.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
performing.
absolutely.
Yeah,
it.
well, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I think is really interesting about Tokyo Ghoul is the fact that the hero does start off as this kind of painfully shy, unassuming guy who can barely even talk to a girl. And then the whole thing is about how actually going on a date with a girl like led him to now have to eat human organs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so never date. Obviously,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the moral
that is
of the
actual
story.
moral of Tokyo Ghoul
Yeah.
is never go on a date.
Relationships will turn you into a monster. That's what it's
Literally.
saying. Literally, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was cool at the event too. The event was really was interesting because
Oh,
after we
yeah.
saw the disgusting foods, like they came out, we went out into the hallway and they're like, "Here's some appetizers, like chunks of like meatball meat."
Meat,
Yeah, it
And I
was
was
like
like,
a
"Oh,
meatball.
okay, I guess."
And like a
Oh,
little.
God.
I feel like they had like a little tequila. Oh, they had little mushrooms with
Yeah.
like
Stuffed
risotto
mushrooms.
or stuff.
They,
Yeah,
they
that's
tried
supposed
to
be
make
like an eyeball or
they
something.
tried to make the food look like
Yeah.
human body
Oh,
parts.
my favorite
Yeah.
part
Oh,
is they had
man.
this maze, but it was really just
Oh, I
two
heard about
corridors
that.
and a rave.
It was like 2 corridors into like 9-inch nails.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like,
We-
"Oh no,
we-
Nine Inch Nails is playing. We're in trouble."
I was like, oh,
yeah,
damn.
we turned the corner and we're like, oh man, there's probably so much more maze, and then it was just a dance floor.
I thought that they were gonna like try to scare us.
Yeah, it was.
Well, a Tokyo Ghoul maze actually would be pretty cool.
No, that would be.
Yeah.
That'd be
really
pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that was
that
a weird
I mean,
tangent,
it's
but-
really good timing for the release of this movie domestically in North America.
Yeah.
because
Halloweeny.
It's a
Halloween,
good,
yeah.
a good horror film. Like that was the thing. Again, like I am not a big fan of Tokyo Ghoul, but watching this, I went, "Wow, this is really interesting." Now I kind of want to go read the manga.
Yes.
I would say, in a weird way, the reason it's so successful as a live action movie is because it is more horror. In the manga, it's definitely not that
yeah.
horror.
Yeah, I
It's
liked that
it's
it
more
was-
shonen for sure.
Okay,
It definitely
I
is.
liked how
Definitely
how
is.
horror film
Like
this
it,
was.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that like the eyes glowing in the dark and just sort of like
Yeah.
even like the humans kind of feeling like monsters.
Yeah.
Like the CCG, which is the basically anti-ghoul task force, and they basically use the organs of the ghouls as weapons.
Yeah.
And they're really surreal looking, which they did
Imagine
a
like Bankai from
fantastic
Bleach,
job.
but like
Yeah.
organs. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they were just like go Bankai liver, and then a liver popped out, right?
But-
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
basically something
Yeah.
like
I think
that.
it like makes sense when they did translate it into like live action because they did understand that it should be more horror.
Yeah.
And like when the CCG does use their organs, like how horrific it is
Yeah.
for them to like hunt them and then use
yeah,
their body
I
parts.
really liked that. Again, the visuals in this film were incredibly well done, and it was very good at getting that visceral reaction from the audience. Like when he first gets, like a liver or something that's like wrapped in like paper, and he has to like actually consume human organs.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very
Yeah, it was
very
very good.
effective.
So
Yeah, I really liked it.
and the fact is, like, even in the anime, they don't even really emphasize that horror aspect of it, and they kind of do. There are elements to it, but it's still very shonen.
Yeah. It's interesting. I saw somebody in the chat earlier, and the chat's going fast, so I apologize. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
watching.
Michelle
and
is also in
conversing.
the
it's
chat.
great.
And Michelle seconds that The Matrix is a
Oh,
great
man,
movie.
this
What is up,
That's a
Michelle?
lot. That's a lot of
Michelle?
stuff you're trying to say.
Also, I mean, because somebody in the chat was saying that they had started to try to either read or watch Tokyo Ghoul. I can't remember which because they thought it sounded interesting and they got bored. I would still highly recommend this film because
Yeah.
obviously it is a film, so the pacing is a lot faster.
Yes.
Uh,
And it's just a good Halloween
was
movie.
fun.
It's a
Yeah,
fun,
it's a
like
fun
it's fun to watch in
Halloween movie.
October.
this okay, so I guess we're gonna eventually get to this. Might as well start now.
Yeah.
What made this a successful live action movie from this sordid history of bad adaptations of anime movies?
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of something to explore because
Yeah.
this is an actual good anime adapted live action movie. It's no Rurouni Kenshin.
No,
No,
it's
no,
not.
it's
No,
not
no,
Rurouni
Kenshin.
though both the guy who played Kaneki and the girl who played Rize were in Rurouni Kenshin.
Wait,
so
wait, who was Kaneki?
remember in the flashback, the like fiance guy.
Oh, that's
who gives
right.
him his
That's
scar?
Top Knot.
Yeah,
You have to talk- you have no clue it's him.
Yep, Top Knot boy. That's him.
I mean, to be fair though, he acted the shit out of that in Rurouni Kenshin.
the
And he
like
acted
little
the
segment.
he acted the shit out of Kaneki here too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta say,
yeah.
like that was a pretty good choice. He also reminds me
Gruesome.
of the dude from Mr. Robot, but that's
Oh, he totally does.
I
can
feel
see
like
that.
this is. I feel like this is the kind of. I feel like it could be the upward trend of like seeing the Japanese film industry kind of understand how to make movies better.
I
Yes.
agree
Yeah.
because this didn't have anywhere close to the budget an American film would
Yeah.
have, and it still
Didn't
looked
need it.
pretty
Yeah,
damn
it's still
good.
good.
And even like the like you said, like the effects aren't like we have here in the States.
Sure,
and stuff like that.
sure.
But they're like, but the film as a whole worked really well. They used the cinematography to their advantage. They used acting. They didn't rely on the CG and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah,
and it was refreshing to
enhanced
see.
It
Exactly.
enhanced it. They didn't rely on it. And Michelle brings up in the chat that Bleach has a rock musical and a live action movie coming in 2018. And
Yes,
since I think
there
Bleach
is.
was one of those series that got a lot of people stopped watching, including myself,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
of
me
all the
too.
filler. I am actually really interested to see that because I think condensed and taking all that shit out,
Yeah.
Bleach might be good.
Nope.
I think.
I'm sorry, it's not. Let me tell you.
I like the first. I liked. I
The
stuck
first
with Bleach
part.
for a
Yeah,
while.
first
Yeah,
part.
first
But
bit's
I feel
fine.
like-
Let's be fair, the movie will
Up to-
probably
up
only
to
be the
Aizen.
first part.
Yeah.
so-
That sounds good.
I feel like the movie will probably go. I hope go the same route as Kenshin. Like I think Japanese filmmakers know how to do Japanese things
Yes,
very well.
absolutely.
And because
Agreed.
Bleach is so very Japanese,
Japanese, yeah.
Yep.
it's probably going to be pretty good.
And I think in a weird way, the reason that this also worked was because it's so grounded. And I think there's a certain level of like things like Attack on Titan was probably never going to be successful.
As a live action
as
film.
live action.
Yeah.
It's
No
too
way.
hard. It's too hard conceptually to show
Totally.
these things.
Totally.
And not that they didn't do certain things well. I mean, there's a lot of just like the casting that was a pretty big problem. But for the most part, Tokyo Ghoul is great because it's basically just, like a vampire movie.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
aspect of it being a vampire movie.
Yeah, it's like
just
an interesting take on vampires.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
But
So-
they're all humans as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So it's
And
like-
there's a little bit of a dual identity kind of thing going
Yeah.
on. Yeah, it's really fun. So, guys, Tokyo Ghoul is going to be in theaters. It's a limited theatrical release starting on October 16th.
That's right.
Go to FunimationFilms.com to find out where it is playing near you. And then within the next few months, Funimation will be distributing it domestically in North America on Blu-ray as well. But again, FunimationFilms.com. Really, really recommend
Yes.
this film, guys.
Worth
recommend
watching.
it.
It's a lot of fun.
Totally,
Yeah.
it's
It's a
totally
good
worth
time.
watching. And as Matt says, it now is the time to watch it. It's a great
it's a good
Halloween
Good horror
season
movie.
film.
Yeah. And speaking of Tokyo Ghoul, guys, we are going to do a giveaway.
Yay!
And to give a chance to our YouTube viewers, we are going to be doing a tweet giveaway. If you go onto Hyper_RPG's Twitter account, go ahead and look for our Tokyo Ghoul post. Reshare that. If we can get 100 reshares on that post, or 80. I think Sarah said 80 or 100. I forgot which one she put. But if we can do get that many reposts, retweets, and you share it with #HyperOtaku, and letting us know what your favorite anime horror show is or recommendations are.
I like that.
Yeah.
Then we will do a raffle of this Tokyo Ghoul stuff. So
Yay!
and we'll be doing this until Thursday morning, so that so we give YouTube viewers a chance as well. So we got this sweet poster, the movie official movie poster.
Pretty good.
Oh, that is
not
pretty
a bad
cool,
poster,
actually. I
yeah.
like that a lot.
I'm very critical about Photoshop in posters, and that's actually pretty
It's
decent
pretty
work.
decent.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent.
And if you want a poster of a dude pondering stuff like really heavily,
I mean, this
like
is it.
that's the
This
poster for
is
you.
it.
And it's _RPG.
Yeah.
That's right. Hyper_RPG.
RPG.
Yeah.
Then we got, of course, the infamous.
Of course, the mask.
The
Ghoul
mask,
mask.
the ghoul
Mask.
mask, the half mask that
Ooh, yeah.
you build and form into the mask. And then we got a t-shirt.
What? Oh, dope. That's the t-shirt that I saw lots of people wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. So go ahead and retweet. If we get that many retweets, we're going to go give this away on Thursday and let the people know about HyperOtaku and all your horror anime stuff.
Yeah.
Woo.
But now it's time for Fuzakeru!
All right.
Yeah.
So our
Ooh,
usual
boy.
game master, Chubby Bunny Michelle, is in New York City right now for New York City Comic Con.
Rest
So
in peace.
I, Emma Fife, am going to be your stand-in game master for today. Now, chat, listen up because you can participate in this game. We are going to be playing a game called Good Series, Bad Description. The way that this is going to work is I am going to read a bad description of an anime series. They are not obscure. They are all very mainstream. So Don't worry, you should all be able to guess them.
Naruto.
The hosts are going to have to listen to the description of the show. If you think you know what it is, buzz in and give your answer. If you are correct, then the other two people who did not answer are going to have to face punishment. If you answer incorrectly, you will have to face punishment. The punishment is that you will be eating a jelly bean from this bowl of jelly beans. They are all red and orange. Some of them are regular red and orange flavors like strawberry, cherry, orange, and some of them are ghost pepper jelly beans.
Oh boy!
So you don't know which one you're going to get. You're just going to reach in, try one, and see what happens. Now, here is where you guys come in chat. Basically, I'm going to read the description one time. If the hosts do not answer, I will read the description a second time, at which point, chat, you guys can answer, and hosts, you guys are allowed to look at chat and try to cheat.
Okay. I like this.
So, first round, chat, don't answer. Second round, if I read the description again, go ahead and give your answers. And contestants, keep your eyes on the chat so that you can attempt to cheat and give an answer.
All right, let's do this.
All righty, here
luck,
we
guys.
go. So, first description. Struggling dojo owner invites reformed mass murderer to be her roommate.
Rona Kenshin.
You didn't hit your buzzer.
I did.
I didn't hear it.
That was
Yeah,
the first
he was
one.
before
All
me.
right, so Matt and you may go ahead.
He was too fast. Max has that speed.
Max is really good at game shows.
Heart of the fingers. Hold on.
Okay, there you go. Matt got a spicy one.
Is that bad? Please tell me it's not that bad. Oh my god, it looks like it's real bad.
You have to. They build on you. I tried one yesterday. At
Oh.
first, you're like, "This isn't spicy," and then you're like, "No."
They definitely start off like, oh, it's a regular gym. It's this spicy.
Wait. Are those all
No,
the ghost
not
pepper
it.
I
ones?
promise you, they're not.
Okay.
I
Oh my
promise you, they're not.
God. It builds.
I literally picked through a bag of jelly beans to get out the orange and red ones.
Okay.
All right.
Heart of a rhino.
Ready?
Stomach
Ready?
of an elephant.
Ready?
I'm
Next
hoping
one.
to win everyone.
Okay. Surprisingly competent shonen protagonist draws fan art of local superheroes.
Bakuman.
No.
What happens? Do I have to? Oh
You
my
have to
god.
get a jelly bean.
If you answer wrong, you have to pick.
All right.
Dude, my stomach just hates me at this place. You know what I mean? Like,
You got like a cherry
I think
one. You
it's like a
don't know because they
peach.
build on you.
They build.
They build.
I totally didn't hear
do
the
they
question.
taste like
Okay.
a peach though?
They taste like a flavor, and then like after a couple seconds, you can feel the heat.
All right,
Okay,
I'm going to
well.
read this one again.
You guys
So
can help us
chat,
on this
You guys
one.
can participate now. You
Okay.
can guess what it is. Surprisingly competent shonen protagonist draws fan art of local superheroes. You can look at the chat. Yes?
Is that My Hero
It
Academia?
is. He has his
Because-
notebook
Okay,
full of
he
the
does.
drawings of the superheroes.
That's very specific of
Yep,
Deku.
So you don't have to eat one.
You don't have to eat
I
one.
thought, wait, I thought that was wait. I thought that was a synopsis. That's just the detail.
Yeah, it's
That's not even a
bad,
synopsis.
bad descriptions.
They're bad descriptions.
They're not descriptions.
This is my second one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't even tell.
All right,
at
let's do
point.
this.
All right, okay. Ready?
I
Okay.
get where
Ready?
your brain has to go
Okay,
for this.
here we
Okay,
go.
great.
Single dad Spider-Man and sad Bishonen Batman fight crime, joined by other heroes including Boy Scout Captain America and gay black Iron Man.
What?
One more time.
What?
One more time.
I think you know this one, Yume. Single dad Spider-Man and sad Bishonen Batman fight crime.
Naruto.
No,
Boruto.
nope.
Eat one.
This is my third one. No, I'm gonna pick.
Focus on the superhero part of it.
I can't even taste any of these jelly beans now.
All right.
This is tough.
This
All right.
one, this one's
Bargain
definitely a little
bin
harder.
Spider-Man.
This one's a little bit harder. It's one. I'll give you a hint. It's one of the only other like sort of American superhero sort of anime. But yeah,
One Punch Man?
no.
I got excited. Shit, I got excited.
drink,
Oh god. Okay, I think I trust my fingers. Oh my god.
I have no
Wait.
idea.
Okay,
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
I'll read it one more time. And Max, if you don't want to guess, then you won't be punished. Yeah, definitely Captain America: Civil War, not an anime. Good guess, Hyper RPG. So yeah, Single Dad Spider-Man and Sad Shonen Batman fight crime, joined by other heroes, including Boy Scout.
Tiger and Bunny.
That's correct!
Damn! Shit!
Guys, I'm like 4. I'm 4 jelly beans in.
Okay.
Oh no, that one is spicy.
Okay.
That's spicy too.
All right. I have
can't help
another.
it.
Okay.
I'm
All
having a
tastes
great
like spicy
time.
to me now.
We'll do one more, and then we got to wrap things up
Okay,
here.
okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Displaced monarch finds teenage space terrorist on a beach, invites him to her birthday party.
Gundam Wing.
Max, I hate you so much.
Right when you said that, you looked me dead in the eyes.
Max is gonna know.
And you're 100%.
That one's good. Can we do one more? You got one more?
One more?
Yeah.
I have lots more.
All right.
Oh
Okay,
my
ready?
God.
Ready?
I hate
good.
you so much,
safe.
Max.
Okay. Alien boy joins young inventor in her quest for the perfect boyfriend. Accidentally agrees to marry daughter of misunderstood agrarian menace.
One more time.
Okay. Alien boy joins young inventor in her quest for the perfect boyfriend. Accidentally agrees to marry daughter of misunderstood. Yes.
Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Dragon Ball?
No,
Don't!
it's not Dragon Ball Z.
Is it Dragon Ball?
It's Dragon Ball.
Max, I hate you so much.
Max is so good.
Why are you so good at this?
The Z! I always say Z! It's like subconscious! I meant Dragon Ball!
Oh man, you guys, this was great.
That actually, I didn't even figure that one out. I just basically took Matt's mistake. I had no clue until he said Dragon Ball Z.
I'm safe.
You guys, that was a lot of
I literally
fun.
can't even tell if I've been eating all spicy because my mouth is just burning.
After the first one, you just don't even know.
Yeah.
We got quick time, guys. If you have some questions, let us know.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we'll be doing a giveaway. If you go on hyper_RPG on Twitter, retweet the Tokyo Ghoul tweet. Let us know with hashtag HyperOtaku. Let us know what your favorite horror anime is, or anime if you don't like a horror anime.
Yeah.
But you should. But there's lots of good horror anime, guys, and tis the season. So
Yeah.
send us those horror anime recs
Do it.
and retweet that Tokyo Ghoul tweet. Win free stuff, guys. Everyone likes free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff.
It's true. Everyone
Hashtag
does
free
like it.
stuff.
Hashtag
Hashtag.
it. All right.
All right, here we go.
Dope.
If I want to get into Co-op Wilson says, if I want to get into the Fate Stay Night series, should I play the visual novel or just watch the anime?
I would say as someone
Watch
who
the anime.
yeah, watch the anime.
Yeah.
I started out
Watch the
with
anime.
was ReZero.
Okay,
Zero,
so the
yeah.
visual novel is a hentai basically. So
That is
if
true.
you're into that,
Sure.
the artwork is very nice.
Yep.
But if
But
you're
it
not
is.
into that, then just watch the
Watch the
series. I would say if there was a particular order to watch it, watch Unlimited Blade Works, then watch Zero, and then you can watch the original one because the original one is still pretty dated. The story is still solid, but if you want to get, because the way that the series are, original Fate Stay Night that you've seen is basically Saber's arc. Unlimited Blade Work is Rin's arc, and then what's coming out soon is Heaven's Feel, which is Sakura's arc. So if you will get every part of the visual novel if you watch all the series, and also Zero is very good.
Cool.
Apotheca's all right.
And that's actually all the time we have for today.
Good question.
question.
Good question.
And I guess, Michelle, we're all wearing black because Tokyo Ghoul subconsciously.
Yeah,
we just
Yeah.
don't-
Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you know,
edgy.
so edgy.
Real quick.
What's up, dude?
Now, before we go,
Oh, what the
I
fuck?
found this. These are 2 jelly beans that got stuck together, and they're the last one in the ghost pepper. So why don't you do that?
You
So-
want? What do I have to eat this? What is this abomination? That's for real. That's an actually real thing.
Yep, that's a curse.
Do I have to
That's
eat
your
it?
curse.
I- camera
Cam
came on
just said
again.
you had to.
I think you
so,
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you have to. So we'll sign off as you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
dude.
guys,
Guys.
you've all been great. Thanks for tuning in.
And
See you next time. Hey,
All
that
right.
mostly worked.
That would work, yeah. Or until next time.
Until
Until
next
next
time.
time.
Time.